For daily Ask Reddit. r/ask Reddit. Parents who regretted having kids. What do you wish you had known before? Let me just ask them. One secretary. Amazing first comment. They may not be proud of you, but I am. This whole thing's such a heartwarming exchange. Are you proud of me? Looking at your post history, yes I am. Keep on keeping on, brother. Try and take all criticism in a positive way. Wow, what a deep response to a joking comment, appreciate it. I don't regret having kids, but I do regret not doing/knowing the following before I had kids. 1. Travel a lot. Everywhere. The farther the better. Spend your money on it. Use your time. 2. Don't brush off school districts and schools. When you buy a house, it may not matter now, but it may be the things that changes your entire world in a few years. Don't be selfish, because it's a great price and you love the location now, but the schools are shit. Don't do that. You will be in a bad place later. 3. Make sure your spouse will really, truly, co-parent with you. My cousin's husband would change her son's diapers, but not their daughters because that's weird. Figure it out before you're like 10 years into marriage and decide it's the right time. 4. Consider your family dynamic. Maybe you're just fine on your own with little help as an adult, but when you have kids, you need a village more than you'd like. Working with kids that constantly get sent home sick and need to go to the doctor, special half days at school and long school breaks. If it is just up to you and your spouse to take time away for all of that, you better have an understanding job that provides ample time and/or very close family and friends that are willing to take kids, pick them up, do overnights, the whole deal. My parents are in Florida half the year and my in-laws work full time. It's way more tough than I thought. I constantly feel like I'm going to get fired because I'm taking another unexpected day off because my kid can't go to daycare because they're sick. 5. If you really want to have kids, you better consider the fact that even though you feel pretty rich as a single person or maybe a 2-income household, that your area better have good, affordable daycare, or you or your spouse better be planning to stay home in order to afford a kid or more. I know lots of people who make good money who are shocked to figure out that basically they can only afford to have one kid because the cost of childcare or the cost of staying home was so great that they could barely afford it. I live in a place where daycare is very affordable. I have 3 kids and we pay over $30,000 a year for daycare, and that's just the tuition. This is not your parents' time. It's different out there now. 6. This one got me the most. How independent/selfish/lazy are you? Really? I'm what I considered to be a relatively well-adjusted only child. I'm used to my space, my own time, being independent. I'm also pretty lazy. When I come home on a weekday, I like to rest, watch a lot of TV, hang out. When I had kids, it was a huge change. Someone needs you all the damn time. It is unrelenting. You never have your own anything anymore. You spend almost all of your waking time that your children are there tending to your children's needs. You beat yourself up for not being good enough at it, for being pissed about how miserable it is sometimes, for hating it. You will hate it sometimes. You need to very seriously consider your stamina for caring for others and putting everyone else before yourself all the time. This is brutally honest and very true. No clue how you would be able to tell if someone was going to co-parent well or not. I feel like actually having kids will change a person so profoundly that even on their word you might see different results once the kid has woken up for the 400th night in a row and needs changed it to 20 AM again. No clue how you would be able to tell if someone was going to co-parent well or not. How are they around the house? That is a good first start. If you find you are doing almost everything and they do minimal, that is telling. Foster a puppy together. Puppies are painfully clingy, need to go out frequently, and have the same general schedule as a baby. Eat, poop, play, sleep, repeat every 2 hours. If you're the only one taking out the puppy at 2 AM, so she doesn't pee in the house, you'll be the only one changing a crying baby's diapers at 2 AM. Use this myself a little while back. Ex and I were boarding a dog for a friend, and I found that, even though it was her idea, I was the one always walking the dog. The night that I went to bed at 8 PM, and she woke me up at 10 PM, She was watching TV beside me because the dog sounded energetic and needed another walk. Was the night I knew it wasn't going to work, among other issues. Throw away for obvious reasons. I always knew from a young age that I didn't want children. My family is all very strict Catholic Hispanics and basically picked who I was going to marry from a young age. Fortunately I liked the guy, so we did end up married at 19. I was very honest about not wanting kids. He was okay with that. Our families were not. I ended up pregnant, even though I was taking birth control. More on that in a minute. Didn't notice the missed periods because the type of birth control I took let you skip periods. By the time I knew I was pregnant I was 5 months along, which is too late for an abortion. Had the baby. Found out while in the hospital I ended up pregnant because our families ordered fake birth control online and replaced my pills with the fakes. Needless to say my husband and I were pissed. I also had horrific postpartum depression, but did the best I could. My husband took up drinking heavily to deal with the stress, and over day he just never came home. Haven't heard from him since. The baby was still an infant at that point, 4 months, and I made the decision to put her up for adoption and move away. Everyone says it's different when it's your own kid. Everyone says the first time you hold your baby you have an instant bond. Everyone says it's the most amazing / important thing a woman will ever do. None of that was true for me. I'm in my mid-30s now, and my daughter and her family made contact with me about 7 years ago. We talk regularly, and I go visit for her birthday and some holidays. She knows the whole story, and while I'm sure she doesn't really understand, she's only 13, she at least gets it a little. If you know you don't want children, and have never wanted children, don't listen to people who tell you that you're wrong, and will change your mind. I'm trying to get my tubes tied to make sure it never happens again, but haven't had luck finding a doctor who's willing to, since I'm unmarried and under 40. Filed for divorce years ago, and since nobody could find him, it went through the same way it does for a missing person. We really need to stop acting like women don't understand their own bodies and wants.